Welcome to At Issue. My name is H. Wayne Wilson, and at this table there is more than 120 years of reporting and anchoring experience.
And that's just H.
That's just me. Oh. And you can tell already that this program is going to have no control. It's just going to be a wild fest between Tom McIntyre, recently retired from WEEK.
On my first full day of retirement.
Yeah. As we tape this.
Well, as we tape it.
Yes.
This will air next week. But so, how many years anchoring and reporting?
Well, anchoring 41 at WEEK, reporting, call it 48.
48. And we're not going to mention ages, but they can figure it out.
Yeah.
And
I was at MBD 43 and a half years when it was radio and television. And by the way, when this actually airs, a happy anniversary, Karen. Because we're over here.
Over here. You talk to this camera.
Well, I've been retired
See,
for 6 months.
He needs a floor
so
director. He doesn't even know which camera to look at.
But anyway, our anniversary is, our wedding anniversary is on the 28th when this first airs. So 38 years being married, but 43 and a half at MBD.
And I was at that wedding.
Yes, you were.
University Methodist Church, I believe.
So
you got married there too?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Another parallel.
See, and the other thing
this is scary.
We barely got going, and already he and I are kind of. You don't mind if we? Okay.
No, go ahead.
We share diseases.
I'm going to take off. I know you do. You better explain that. I'm going to leave, and these two are just going to have a conversation.
Bob and I both have ocular migraine, so if you've got an ocular migraine, we sympathize with you.
We sympathize, yeah. And so it's something, I didn't know that until the night of his retirement. But the main thing that we have, that we go back before we actually were born in terms of a connection, because our parents knew each other back in the 1930s. Explain that, Tommy.
I'm not sure that I can, but they knew each other. You're related to the Tinges, who were lived across the street. Sally Tinge was 2 years younger than I, who lived across the street from me in Chenoa.
Right.
So my parents knew those folks, who knew your folks, who were related to your. It's all very complicated.
Yes, my folks were running a store in Farmer City, and his parents were there, and they knew each other before the war.
My mother is from Farmer City.
Yeah. See.
Well, but you grew up in Chenoa.
Yes.
Yes.
And first of all, let me introduce Bob Larson.
Oh, good idea.
We didn't introduce Bob.
Okay.
And former WMBD anchor, retiring in November of 14.
Right. I retired 6 months ago.
You grew up in Chenoa.
Right.
You grew up in Morris.
Morris, right. And that's where my folks were from, but they went down to Farmer City to run the store prior to the war, and then went back to Morris, like his parents ended up in Chenoa. But they knew each other in the 1937-8 period up to whenever.
But that never. And who's ringing?
Oops.
That's Matt.
I left mine in the car. So
Hi, honey. What's up? I'm at the studio. I'm at the studio right now. I'm taping a show. Actually, I'm on the air right now. Bye.
Now, this is not something you would normally see on regular television.
Normally, I would have put my phone away had I been at 25, but now that I'm retired, I don't have to do that.
You know what? Yeah, I left mine in the car so it wouldn't happen to me. But
this is live television, folks.
This is right. Yeah.
Let's turn to how you got into the broadcast industry before we're going to look at the future in just a moment.
Oh, really?
We're going to predict the future in television news. But how did you get into broadcasting?
I got into broadcasting. Long story or short story? Long story.
Thank you.
Long story is that even as a kid, probably beginning in the 4th or 5th grade, I loved being in front of an audience. And frankly, I loved getting laughs. I loved doing plays and that sort of thing. I was a theater major in college. It was suggested by one of the heads of the department that I try out for more plays and get more active, and I figured probably it was a pretty good chance I'd flunk out if I did that, because I was already doing enough stuff. And they'd started a radio station at ISNU at the time called WGLT, which stood for We Gladly Learn and Teach. And guys that I knew had started this radio station. They said, "You like to talk, get on the radio." I did. I liked radio. And it was pretty free form and, quite frankly, probably pretty bad. But there was rip and read radio as far as news was concerned. And I learned to do that, just self-taught. Fortunately, as soon as I got out of college, I went to WIOK in Normal, which is a brand new station, which needed a news director and wouldn't pay anything. But they had a guy by the name of Tom Brown there, who was a program director, who was an excellent mentor. And he took me aside and says, no, this is what you're doing wrong, and here's how to do it right, and you've got a chance to get this correctly if you just follow some decent instructions. Frankly, I wish I knew what happened to him. I went into the Navy after I left there. He left, went to someplace in Iowa. I have no idea, but I owe him a tremendous debt for getting me started.
And we'll talk about Peoria in just a moment, but you started...
Now, mine, I think back, my parents, and they have some pictures, when I was a little guy, I used to take an extension cord and go around like I was interviewing people. I guess I should have known then that maybe I was destined to get into this business, but the interesting thing is, when I was in school, I was the introvert in the back of the class that didn't want to get up and give a book report or anything. And then ironically, I did weather for 17 years, which is nothing more than, having to get up and, So what brought out the extrovert in me was getting into radio. And I had the opportunity when I was a junior going into senior year at one of the local Morris radio stations. And it was a real learning experience because, as Tom knows, when you go to these smaller stations, especially in Morris anyway, you're the announcer, the sports guy at times, the news guy, the weather. I mean, you do everything. So you get a little chance, a little flavor of what you are interested in. And I always was interested in weather. And so when opportunities happened at MBD years later, I took that opportunity. But I got into it when I was in high school.
I waited till college.
Did you?
Illinois Institute of Technology.
Late starter, huh?
Yeah,
Late
yeah,
starter.
I was.
And
I did everything.
Well, yeah, and that's the beauty, I think. And in our era, people forget now because so many times when you are hired at a station, it's either TV or it's radio. There were very few combos, they used to call it combo. And the beauty of that was you got a chance to try everything.
Right.
And basically, for those of us that got into television in our era, you almost had to do your penance in radio first. You had to.
And the thing about radio was it taught you it gave you deadlines every hour. I mean, you had
maybe
to,
half hour too.
Half hour.
Yeah.
You had to learn to write quickly. You had to find more than one way to tell the darn story. As you say, every half hour. So you're not only on the air, you're making phone calls, you're doing all these things, and you're trying to set up for another newscast. It's just a constant work. It's great training to learn how to write quickly and concisely.
It is. And the interesting thing, I would sometimes, and I was not one to be confrontational, but in college, when I was at TCU, every once in a while, I would hope judiciously, tried to mention to the instructor, because by that time I had already worked in radio about 3 years, and of course one of the classes radio news, and they're giving you a whole hour to write one story. And I said, this isn't reality.
Yeah.
I mean, and so he didn't like me too much for that.
That is still the case. We have friends that teach adjunct professors at Bradley. Mm-hmm. Kids are given, a week, come up with a 5-minute newscast. Oh, come on, give them 25 minutes and let's see what they come up with.
Well, and I understand that you have to start somewhere and give them, but the reality is when you get out in the business, as Tom said, whether you've had the experience or not, they expect you to write this newscast and not, and rewrite stories, and you had very timely, schedules where you had to have all of this stuff
There
done.
may be a viewer or two out there, and this would include me, saying, well, then why do the television stations have the same story in the morning and at noon that was on at 10 o'clock the night before? No one rewrites stories anymore. No one updates stories anymore. You see that you can hear the exact same phrases in the stories at noon than compared to 10 o'clock the night before.
They didn't do radio.
That's right. They didn't do radio.
That's part of it. And part of it, I think, is really that somebody isn't sitting down and telling them. Part of it is that we have gotten away from the rewrites. A reporter comes in and I want 3 versions of your story or 4 versions of your story. And Libby will tell you that one of the stations she worked at in Virginia, that your idea was you wrote your story, then you wrote your second story, then you wrote your third story for the morning crew. Mm-hmm. And that was just what you did. I think in many cases we've gotten away from that policy. You go to a larger market, and for example, I'll use Marianne Ahern as an example of NBC Chicago, and she'll do a 5 o'clock version. There's a 6 o'clock version, which may be a live shot, then a rewrite, and do a concise but updated version for the 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And so I think we've just simply gotten away from
Well,
it.
and now, see, because when, as I say, there aren't combos anymore. So it's either a company owns radio stations or TV, and many times now you have people coming out of college and their first job, unlike with us, where you worked your way through radio and then got into television, now you're in television. And so there isn't, quite the learning curve.
And I think, quite frankly, work expands to fill the time allotted. So you set a 5 o'clock deadline for your newscast. A story, and one of my criticisms has always been, quite frankly, you get the story started at 10 o'clock and you find somebody still working at it at 4. How come? That was hours ago. Finish the story, let's go on to something else. Let's keep moving.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned the fact that people come in and they haven't had the experience of radio and they're new to the market. Well, one of my complaints is that we used to get together, the stations used to get together, the radio, TV stations, and we would have parties or we'd eat lunch together, what have you. And now we don't do that anymore because I don't know any of the reporters because they're not here long enough. Gary Ebling came up to me at your retirement party and he said, we were talking about background. He said, I've spent 10 years at Channel 25 as a reporter. And I was going, 10 years? With the exception of Denise Jackson at your shop, there are no reporters who are here for maybe, what's a senior reporter at 31?
Oh boy, right now, well.
18 months maybe?
Well, no, it'd be more than that, but you're right. Nobody's there 10 years, I don't think,
not right
now. And again, I think a lot of that too has to do over time as, when job openings were more available, then you see people leaving more. Obviously, when times are tough and there aren't as many openings, then they end up staying mostly out of the fact that they don't have another job to go to. But, and Tom and I stayed a long, long time. There are other people in the market, both at his station and mine, that have been there a long time, but you're right, as far as the reporters, a lot of them move on.
I'm talking
and go
about the
on
reporters.
Because this was always known
because-
as a stepping stone, and I had to mention, when he mentioned a mentor of his, ironically, not having ever been in Peoria before I took the job at MBD, the one person, and I may have mentioned this to you before, when I was still at TCU and I came up back home on a spring break and I was looking for work, I sent resumes out to Chicago stations. I knew I wouldn't get hired there, but I wanted to get some feedback. And the only one that would interview me at the time was Chuck Harrison, who, of course, at the time I didn't know any history about. He was at WGN, very nice, sat down, and his advice to me was, if you get a chance to work in Peoria, that's a great training ground, do it. And of course, ironically, the job opened up and I always remembered that, and but he's the one that actually suggested I come here.
You were going to add?
I was going to add that one of the things that Bob didn't mention, but that we're all aware of, is that when you and I probably started, it was market 87.
Right.
It's now 117.
Right.
Yep.
Which makes a couple of things happen. One is we get people who are younger
Right.
and newer. This is their first job. When I started at WEK, it was my third job.
Right. Yeah, usually you had
And you've
somebody
been, you've
coming
been already in high school and been
in high
doing
school,
work.
and then
Right.
I actually did a little work in Fort Worth
Yep.
through the university, but it was at a independent
So
station.
this was WMBD was your third job as
It
well.
really was, yeah, in
so
that sense.
That's
yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
So now you're getting people who are just starting out. Quite frankly, the wages are less for market 117 than they were for market 87. I think that's a given. And so you're going to have more people want to move on because, quite frankly, they're not making them as much money as they used to.
And as a result, they're here for a short period of time. They don't know the structure of the community. They don't know the leaders, and they can't do as good a job in reporting unless they can lean on a Bob Larson or a Tom McIntyre for a little bit of background.
Well, quite frankly, I don't think I'm exaggerating. When Bob and I have left, there's a lot of institutional knowledge that went with us.
Yep.
Well, we've talked before. We kidded you before taping and said we could do a half hour on the Franklin Street Bridge. But
Stories about the Franklin Street Bridge.
But I mean, there's just, I could, and both of us could just sit in a room and one would mention something and I go, oh yeah, that's right about that. When you're here that long, there's just a lot of things. There's been a lot of water under the bridge, so to speak, in terms of changes and certainly technology.
Oh, God,
we laugh about when we walked in the door, him in '73 at EEK and me at '71, everything was on film. you know, and I ran into somebody today and I said, I bet you don't even have film in your camera anymore. This was just somebody that came up to me on the street and they said, no, it's digital. And I said, you know, I mean, just think, I mean, when you would cover a story, you had to factor in the fact you had to get it back and had it processed.
Right. It had to be in the soup for 45 minutes.
45 minutes, and then out to the moviola, you know, and editing and.
Now, were your guys over at 31 at that time? Were the editors union?
No, we did
See,
not.
and ours were.
Okay.
Which made it, you added that complexity. We had a couple of guys who were pretty quickly, could pretty quickly edit film. We had some others, quite frankly, who were pretty slow. And that was a gauge you had. Oh, X is working as a film editor today. The deadline just moved up a half hour because he would take that much longer than the guy who regularly did that job.
And of course, that put more stress and pressure on, you know, whoever was producing the newscast, because it always was spot news happened just before a newscast, you know, being what it is. And so that fire or that whatever it was, you're trying to get this now on the air as your lead story. And boy, there were more than a few times when that was interesting too.
Well, photographers had to learn to shoot in the camera. I can't count the number of times when guys would go out with a silent film camera. They would shoot 30 seconds worth of film.
Right.
And it would not even be edited. You would take a black magic marker. The Bell & this is really inside baseball. The Bell & Howell 70DR would not stop on an open frame. A CP16, Cinema Product 16 millimeter camera would stop on an open frame and give you a white spot. So you take magic marker and do in the white spot, and you could run it without editing.
See, we would go back before we actually had photographers on staff, which was, you know, mid-70s at our shop. And you had to learn quickly to thread the film through there and remember to, on your way to wherever you're going, shoot or run off the first 10 feet or so, because if you got there and you got the flames and it was that first 10 feet, let me tell you, you didn't have any shot.
Mentioning fires, let me bring up something that some people have questioned. The radius of the 25 signal is maybe 60, 70 miles, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
50
and
miles.
it's kind of oblong, so it's not.
Yeah, but you cover a wide area. You know, Bloomington Normal, obviously, and over to Knox County and up north, south.
Although Knox County is not officially in our ABI.
No, it's in the Quad Cities.
It isn't anymore,
Yeah, the Quad Cities, and one time it was.
Right.
Yeah,
a long time.
We should have fought for it.
So, so there's a house fire that causes $20,000 damage. No one's injured. Why do that story?
Well, you know, and that really now is up to producers. We got to the point where there were vacant house fires, and finally, I know several years ago, they said, you know, we're just, unless something unusual about it. And of course, sometimes you don't know until after you've gone to find out.
And you already have the video.
But now you've invested the effort in it. So now we've got to use it because we've invested the effort in it.
They finally got to the point where they said, you know, no more of these. At least there was a time period where they were not running those, even though we had invested, because it was vacant and there was nothing more to it. But, you know, a lot of that, now that TV has progressed, there's producers and you know, people that are making decisions on where to run it. That goes back to where Tom and I sit, and more than a couple of times I've turned to somebody and I said, can we run this a little further down, or should we run, you know, sort of make nice suggestions? And to be honest, sometimes they took your advice. I mean, you try not to run somebody else's show.
Right.
And I think that's the other thing people don't understand. He and I were the face of our newscast, but we weren't necessarily in charge of what stories ran, where they ran, and everything else. So people kind of assumed that we were in charge.
How many people thought you were the news director?
Well, I don't know how many, but I never got any. I will say I never got any mail that said news director on it. The news director would have not been happy, no matter who it was at that time. But I think because we are the face on there, they assume that we make all the decisions behind the scenes, and that just isn't the case.
But and in both cases, we've gently tried to move things, I think.
Yeah, I think, you know.
If we see an obvious, and speaking of fires, by the way, one of my complaints has always been, and it still happens, there's a house fire and you don't mention who the house belongs to.
Yeah,
just irks me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying that for anyone who is ever going to be a reporter.
And we're kind of the old school who, what, why, when, where, you know, that sort of give me the facts and that sort of thing.
And the age.
And, you know, I would just turn, especially if it was a newer producer, and be honest with you, a lot of them would take your advice because they were new to the market. And I would say, look, I've been here a long time. I don't want to try to run the show, and I don't want to be cantankerous, but I think this is going to be more important to people than this over here or whatever. And you know, a lot of them would take your advice and say, okay, fine, because they realize you've been in the market a long time. You hope you know your audience, and so you try to use your experience there to help them along.
Can I ask you to get out your crystal ball?
Well, you can ask. I don't know that
I mean,
don't believe
mine's
it's
a
got
little
one.
cloudy, but-
We've seen a lot of changes. We've seen combined newsrooms at your old shop.
Right.
We've seen the introduction of MMJs, multimedia journalists, where you are the reporter and the photographer, and that's a disservice in itself in that it's hard to report some stories. Some stories you can do justice to.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
other
we'll
stories.
talk about, how long do you want to talk about that one?
How
I
long-
didn't think so. Here's my statement on that.
5 minutes, Matt.
5 minutes. Okay, no more than 5. Here's my statement on that. When Bob and I both started, we were multimedia journalists before we knew before the
was.
word existed.
Yeah.
Which is to
One
say,
man
when I was
band,
at
yeah.
19, I would carry a silent film camera with me, and I was doing radio work, but I'd shoot the city council meeting or whatever meeting I was at just to have some film to go along with it. In that sense, we were already doing it. We were already multimedia journalists. We were already one-man bands. That changed during a period of time. And then you had a photographer and a reporter. When cameras weighed 75 pounds with your recorder, it seems like a good idea.
Especially to
and
the reporter.
But on the other hand, as a reporter, boy, do I like to have complete control of what's shot. And for me, it's like being, in that sense, I'm a control freak. In the sense of, if I'm going to do a story, I want to know all the video that's going to be on it.
It makes it easier to write.
It makes it easier to write because the shot that I've got up in my head had better match the one that's actually on video. So I'm not anti-MMJ, if only because that it gives me as a reporter more control over the final product.
Except that there are certain stories where you should be going off and asking some questions of an expert who might not be there later. You should be taking some notes. So there's certain types of stories where you do need the combination.
The thing I also struck me as he said that is that what I noticed in our shop, especially for some people that did stay a while, is that you would eventually see combinations. Certain reporters and certain photographers would end up working together because there was chemistry there, just like you
Yeah.
have chemistry on the air. And it was much easier. It was like one could almost think what the other one wanted. And so when you have that situation, it does make it easier, but you're right. It depends on the reporter and photographer and if there's some kind of meshing of minds there in terms of what they want. But you're right. That also goes back to the old rule in television, right to the video.
Right.
You know.
And we're still repeating that.
Yeah. I mean,
And it's always been, you have to tell the people that come in, you start writing the story and they ask, and everybody that writes a story at our place, at the place I used to work.
only one day you're forgiven.
I know, yeah. That script has to be approved, usually by me or by a producer, or Libby, for example, and go over the script. And my first question in many cases was, what's your video for this? How are you going to illustrate this, which may be some kind of technical question, for example, about state economics. How are you going to visualize that?
Yeah, and of
Well, I
course-
thought I'd just use some shots of the legislature. No, let's find something better.
And of course, there's the difference in radio and television too, is that on radio you are listening for the words and you remember the words because, you know, that's all you have. In television, the thing that's going to stick with people is what's the video. And so for any story, no matter what's a hard news story or anything else, the better, the more compelling the video, it's going to draw people to it. Obviously, the writing complements
Well,
it too.
the
but,
idea
I
is
mean,
one
they work
reinforces the
together,
other.
but I mean,
Yeah.
the video is something that's going to draw people. And then, of course, you know, obviously have the right written words to go with it. But you, again, writing to the video. So that people, when you're talking about this, that's what's up there. you
All
know.
right, take an example. The recall and the airbag story, not long ago. You can either show
That's about 30 seconds on the story.
airbags explode. That's one way you can show it. Or you can show an airbag exploding and the graphic comes out and says 1 in every 4 cars affected. What do you remember?
1 in 4.
Bingo.
See.
So now you've got a graphic that reinforces what you're saying.
And with that, we're going to continue our conversation here in the studio. It may last a couple of hours, I think.
Yeah, go get your coffee pot going.
I'm very pleased to say congratulations to Tom McIntyre
Is
on your
the show
retirement.
over? Is that what you're trying to say?
Almost, if you'd let me finish. Congratulations. You've been retired 1 week as this airs.
Okay.
And congratulations on your retirement 6 months ago from Channel 31.
And happy anniversary to my wife out there
Karen,
at 38
and-
years.
suck
and
up.
come
Well,
on,
Hey,
let's
listen,
mention
anytime
Martha.
I can still get brownie points,
Well,
I'm
good
gonna
for
do
you.
We'll
it.
mention Martha. You want to say something to Martha?
Yes, you have to
I'm
do
happy
that.
to be married to you, Martha. I love you dearly.
Okay.
And with that, that is the last program for At Issue for this season. These guys are retired. I'm
We
coming.
can start next season right now.
Chapter 2, 3.
We'll air over the summer. We'll be back next September. I am not retired, not yet at least. Maybe after the show I will be forced to be. We'll see you in September. Thank you for being with us on At Issue.